on Clubhouse. Those of you who wanted to be heard, you said, please let me on Clubhouse. I want them to hear my voice. I want them to hear the situation that I have, the trials that I have. So you can raise your hand at any given time and we'll talk about it. Tonight, Victoria is joining me as a speaker. Thank you so much, Victoria. And I want the rest of you to feel free to contact me by raising your hand. So let's talk about it. Hello there, sunshine. How are you? God bless you. Hello there, Felicia. Good morning to you. Good morning. And we are on YouTube and we are on um, Clubhouse. Thank you for those of you who sign up for Clubhouse. It's such a blessing. And we're going to talk about it. We're going to talk about the dangling effect of your emotions, the dangling effect of your mind. When you are trying to get things out of your mind, when you're trying to catch a hold to truth. And usually what the narcissist does, the narcissist always bring you to the place of a wound, because the narcissist can't stand for you to get together. The narcissist can't stand for you to be above them. The narcissist can't stand for you to know the truth that they are and you start untangling the knot. The narcissist cannot stand that. And many of you have written me and you say, why? Why does the narcissist do that? Why are they happy when I am most miserable? Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. Amen. Narcissism and the dangling of your emotions. Hello there, sunshine. I am so glad that you are on board today. I am so glad that you are filled with questions, filled with excitement, filled with what is happening in your life. Some of you are in the escape mode and you didn't go back. Some of you are still free, but some of you are being hoovered by the narcissist. The narcissists want you back, and they're doing everything they can, including flying monkeys, to get you back. They're making you feel guilty. They're making you feel responsible. They're making you feel obligated, especially if you have children. They're making you feel that the fact that the children is not with you or with them because of you, that is your fault. And you have to fight against this spirit, against this narcissism. And you are already tore up from the inside. But the narcissist does not make it easy for you. Okay, let's talk about that. Hello there, Lynette. Those of you who have questions, please feel free to ask questions because we're going to deal with that. We're going to deal with your pain. Otherwise, please announce yourself. Yes, hallelujah. We're going to deal with the reason for your pain. Why does the narcissist want you in pain, bowed over? And the thing is, he wants you in a tug of war emotionally, because when your mind is twisted, there you go. There's so much confusion until you don't know which way to go. Let's talk about it.
Julia, go ahead.
Let's talk about it.
I'm sorry, I didn't hear that. You want me to pray again?
Yeah, just pray again, Julia.
Are you finished? Okay.
Yeah, let her pray again. Danielle said, hello, okay. Sunshine.
Hallelujah, Father,
thank you so much.
Right now, Almighty God. We thank you, Jesus, for allowing us.
Okay, and those of you who want to raise your hand, if you're going through this right now, I want you to volunteer to raise your hands. I want the others that know that they don't have to go through this alone, and that you are enduring this, have dealt with this, and you are refusing to be conquered by this. Many of you have solidified your stance.
Against every evil force in Jesus' name. We thank you, Lord God. We are locking down, Lord God, locking down on this fast, Lord God. The things will not evade us. Your blessings will not evade us, Lord God.
There you go. So I'm on 3 different ports. Hello, Christina. How are you? So let's talk about this. Let's talk about your unrest. Many of you have been away from the narcissist 6 months. You've been away for a year, and yet you are still struggling. You're still fighting with the aspect of being tied up and tangled up. Let's talk about that. What is the reason for the tie? Hello there, T. How are you? Let's talk about that. Let's talk about the tanglement. That what the narcissist get out of having you entangled, because confusion is always in their port, and they keep you in that relationship. And the reason they keep you in that relationship, because they keep you emotionally tied into the relationship, and your emotions start being dictated in the relationship instead of your wisdom. Especially if you've been with the narcissist for years, you feel a sense of obligation, and then it goes to family. Some of you are dealing with family issues, some of you dealing with co-workers, and they are tangling you up, and no matter how you try to get out, this entanglement keep launching you deeper and deeper and deeper. So let's talk about that. What do you think about that, the sunshine state that you are getting? You're fighting, but it seems like you're getting more entangled into it. This is Danielle. Danielle is really appreciating those of you that are coming on. I am so sorry I'm late. I had an emergency with a family member, and thank God for victory in it. So I wanted to come on because this is our night of going live. Let's talk about it. Let's talk about it. So, Sunshine, how is it that you've been tied in tonight? She said, yep, she's a constant confusion. She said, tell me all of my head. I know as not a flying monkeys. She said, gang stalking and installation, game stalking, when there are several members that are flying monkeys and they're coming against you at one time, but all of it is for the benefit of the narcissist, and they make you feel that you are being captivated. They make you feel that you're being ineffective, and you're not being ineffective. Even though the narcissists have a tremendous amount of people and they have a stalking gathering, you still have the wisdom of the situation. You can strip them with your wisdom. She said, I'm fighting stuff as our court date. She said, it's coming up. Oh, yeah. She said, and just had to call the police because he had been threatening me. See, that's what the narcissist does. The narcissist need to keep you shackled. The narcissist need to keep you bothered. The narcissist need to keep your hands tied, your mind tied. He need to keep your ability tied. And what you know they head for is sleepless night. Because when you have sleepless nights with the narcissist, you're going to find that you can start ruminating. You can start, and if you go enough sleep, you can actually have psychosis. The narcissists don't need a lot of sleep because they have a wandering spirit. And that wandering spirit allows them to walk in different places all over the place. And you're wondering, do they need sleep? They don't sleep. You know, they very seldom sleep, but you need sleep. You need sleep. And she said, is that really hard? She said, I think I am in the only one. She said, I am the only one who carried, steal, and uses as a punching bag. You should never be used as a punching bag. I mean, you should have a trail history of the narcissist abuse. Once you have a trail history of the narcissist abuse, you make sure the narcissist is accountable. See, court needs documents. They don't need emotional prowess. They're looking for documents. She said, how do you stop ruminating? You have to put other things in your mind. You have to challenge what has been transcribed, to challenge what you are currently downloading. When you are downloading something in your mind, it takes precedence over all the other things that used to be. The narcissist always operate on the past. And if you notice the narcissist, that's all they talk about. What has been, what you've done. And they have no future in their mind, because they don't think you're going to the future without them. They don't think you can do the future without them. So they cause you to reminisce. They cause you to think about them. And they send you up for a Hoover. She said, oh, my solicitor knows about it. Oh, yeah, absolutely. So who else are experiencing this kind of captivity with the narcissist? Jesus Betty girl. She says, she said, my Mark, hello. Apostle, how are you? I am doing great. And so, Jesus Betty girl, how did you notice that this Mark has put a dent into your life where you are saying, look, I have to do something about this. I cannot let this continue, because to let it continue is to suck the very life out of this. Danielle, we have 1 hour. She said, greetings, everyone. Yes, please like and share the page. So when the enemy ropes you, he ropes your mind, he ropes your emotion, and you feel like that. You feel like you are tied into a rope situation. It's like being in a rodeo. No matter how far you go. They have a rope where they wheel you in, and you thought you were free, and just when you thought you was free, they pull that rope and they pull you in, and the frustration rises again, and you are hiding in the shadow, and you say, I'm not going back. I am not going to submit. I am not going to surrender. And then you find yourself ruminating. This is setting up for the Hoover. He comes in for the Hoover, because as long as you're thinking about him, as long as you're turning these thoughts over and over in your mind, they can always come back. They can always build a place for them. Even though you have resigned them, you will pull them back in through this kind of resignation. Come on, let's talk about this on Clubhouse. Let's talk about this. Let's talk about when you can't stop ruminating, and it's been a year, and it's been 2 years, and you are finding yourself having to pull down some real stronghold, Felicia. You are finding yourself in a battle, and sometimes you can be in your home and you are battling for your life. You are fighting for your life. You are trying to get beyond where you have been with the narcissist. But the narcissist, this time with you, he spent all that time trauma bonding, and it's the trauma bonding that sets you up for the narcissist in plain view, so he can keep coming back. And he can keep stalking you. And he stalked you to let you know that no matter what you do, you're not going to get out of sync. You're not going to get out of line. I got you where I want you. You love me, but he doesn't love you. And he make you committed to him. And you are saying, I want the best. I want to love him. I want to give to him. But he keep doing this. And see, you, as long as you keep that mindset about what the narcissist done and how the narcissist is with you, you're going to find yourself in a limited space. And this limited space is setting up for a Hoover. And you say, but I would never go back. But you can't get them out of your mind. And when you do, you keep that no contact space. She said, he's not going to come back as he's already married. That don't make a difference. She said, now I have a new partner. I mean, she said, a busyness. She said, I have to stand up for myself. And he can't accept that. Absolutely, because you're not supposed to be able to stand up for yourself. She said, greetings, Mama. Glad to see you. You too, Camilla Brown. You see, you're not supposed to be able to stand up for yourself, because the narcissist is supposed to have great power. Remember that the narcissists operate with a spirit of domination. This is why they feel entitlement and grandiosity. And this entitlement entitles them to your will, where you yield your will, where you said that, God, I'm tired of fighting. I'm tired. And they take you to court. And if you got children, they'll make you feel like you're going to lose the children. You're going to lose the house. But you have to come back to me. If you come back to me, I will be a little more generous to you. I won't take the kids. And you are saying, but I don't have, you already doing things. And of course, the narcissist usually can get a lawyer. Hello there. Thank you for joining me. Oh, Miss T. Hello there, Shanti. And so the narcissist is usually saying, I'm tied into you, that our DNA is intermeshing, and you find it very difficult. How many of you have been away from the narcissist for exactly 1 year and you are still fighting this battle? You're still fighting this mindset. How many of you are still fighting this mindset? Jesus girl says, God erased my mark. She said, I was just saying hello. I was just saying he's hello. My name is on the YouTube and it's Jesus girl, Betty. God erased my mark. That's what God wants to do, and that's what no contact. When you go into a no contact zone, it brings you into a security place. It brings you into an entitlement place. And that's what happened when you allow the no contact zone to really work for your life. That's what happened when the no contact zone worked for your life. When the narcissists believe that the no contact zone is really working, they feel strapped. And the first thing they want to do is bring confusion. The first thing they want to do is to tell you how much you love them, how much you care for them, how much you want them. And that may not be true. You can feel the sense of a pull, but you also want to be free. You want to be free from what the narcissist is doing. You want to be free from the pull of the narcissist. And you don't want that gaping hole leaking all over the place when the narcissists feel like you will always drop what I put in you. And that is not true. You will not always drop what the narcissist put on you and put in you. But that leaky verbiage, excuse me, that leakage substance can leak over in arenas of your life that you thought was done. And because it leaks on an open wound, now you got a problem with an open wound because you leaked on that wound. How many people know what I'm talking about? When you know that you are saying goodbye, and then the narcissists come in, and they may be with another relationship. Excuse me. They never stop the narcissist. They can be with another relationship. The narcissists don't care about the relationship they're in. The narcissists care about what you have. He don't want to lose you. And so he goes back and makes sure you remember the good times that you had. And then he'll take you away from the trauma bonding. He'll take you away from the suspicion. He'll take you away from the cheating. He'll take you away from the lying. He'll take you away from the gaslighting. Because the reason you escaped or the reason you was discarded and you did not go back under the hoovering technique is because you understood that you had to be free and you have to rest in that freedom and you have to get your mind right because you have children. And if you don't think the narcissist, especially the mid-narcissist, they are thinker, the mid-upper narcissist try to imitate the greater narcissist, and the mid-lower narcissist come in with sympathy. And so the mid-greater narcissists come in with techniques. They come in with flying monkeys. They come in with different strategies to pull you in through the multitude of people. They make sure that they get your friends involved and that you see your friends and that you see the need to have them in your life. He'll make it think that everything is working for them, and it's not working for them. And you said, but what if they done moved on with someone else and I moved on with someone else? They don't care because they triangulate. Remember, they triangulated with you, and that's how they got somebody else with you. They would triangulate with them. The narcissists always go back to past history when the fuel is good. They never release good fuel. They gonna always come back. You said, well, my narcissists haven't came back. Time still exists, honey. The narcissists have a tendency to come back to what they know. They have a tendency to come back to what was good because the fuel was good. The fuel was sustaining. The fuel was on time. The fuel was always there. The fuel was a promissory note. The narcissist wants that fuel. And so what the narcissist does is build your whole life around giving fuel to them until when you're not giving fuel to them, you feel almost inhibited. And let's see what Max MW said. She said, do you know the narcissist offered to give me back the money he stole, and he disconnected his coolant hose in his car, and he asked me to come over and I took, okay, she said, I took my money and I left immediately. Yeah, he's not done. He's not done because you got to remember the narcissists think you belong to them. That's why you can be with somebody else. The narcissists don't think you belong to that person. The narcissists think you always belong to them. So when the narcissists come up and when the narcissists show up, he show up as if y'all just left off. He show up just like you want him back. And you don't even want him back. You done went through so much hell. You have been trauma bonded. You have been gaslighted. And you are saying, no way will I go through that. But in the narcissist's mind, he captured you so good until you want him. And that's why the narcissist, if you notice the narcissist, they always engulf you with certain smell, certain places. They did certain things so you can remember that you in the neighborhood, they took you places in that neighborhood and you're still in that neighborhood and you go down to these different places and guess what? You remember the narcissist. Guess what? You remember the things you did. Guess what? You remember the places you went. And the narcissists want to make sure that you capture those moments because the narcissist know he's going to come back because sometimes the narcissists get in trouble and they lose their arena of supply, but they always think they have you. It doesn't matter if they abuse you. It doesn't matter if you're married. They always think they can come back. There was one woman, she married a young man. She was happy with the young man, and the narcissist gave her a living hell because the narcissist feel like you have what belongs to me. And her husband had to fight and set up all kind of lawyers, penalties to keep him out of their lives. And so she said, I thank God I'm free. Absolutely. And you stay free because they're not done. There are some narcissists. One young lady said the narcissist was gone for 10 years. Another woman said he was gone for 15 years. Another lady said he was gone for 5. Another lady said he was only gone for 6 months. And they come back to the last place they left off because the narcissist had a rotator cuff of their mindset. They always go back to the last great moment that they remember you have. They don't forget every other thing that they've done to you, all the other harassment that you've been through, all the other energy that you cried out against, all the other triangulation, and you charge them and they act as if you've forgotten. The narcissists remember, but they act as if you've forgotten. And that's why the narcissists put pressure on the mind because they want to go into your memory bank and put pressure on your memory bank. And when they put pressure on your memory bank, he wants to discard all of your update information that your mind would take them back to yesterday. And that's why you can find yourself ruminating. And next thing you know, you're dreaming about them. They interrupt in your dreams. And you're like, why am I dreaming about them? I don't really want them because they have transposed into your dream. They have transposed into the way you are. They make sure that they include their stance. Come on, let's talk about it. What do you have to say about this? What do you have to say about this? T said, what do you have to say about this, T? When you know that you are free and God, whom the Son make free, is free indeed. And you got to stay on the other side of conquering. You have to stay on the other side of faith. You have to bring your mind over from trauma bonding. You have to bring your mind over from trauma, period. And the trauma that is on your brain, you are saying that this is disillusionment. I will not yield to my trauma mind. She said, yes, ma'am, selective memory. She said, but I didn't let him. She said, I didn't let him. I reminded him what he did, and I feel nothing from him. And see, when you have nothing that you feel for him, it's easy for you to fly away. Your wingspans enlarge. You know, it's just like an eagle. When I was talking to Danielle, and I was talking about an eagle, when the mother eagle wants to expand her eaglets, what she does is she makes the nest more prickly. She makes the nest more uncomfortable. And so the eagles bounce around and hop on the nest because everywhere they sit, there's this pricking of them. But each time they jump up, they're spreading their wings and they're holding that flying span just a little bit longer. And each time they're holding the flying span a little bit longer, they're giving strength to their wings. And finally, the mother realized that they can hold themselves above that prickly for a little bit. That means that she can drop them. And when she drop them, they can start fluttering their wings and she'll drop them. And then she goes underneath them and catch them. And she does this several times. The more she drop them, the longer their wingspans are. The more she drop them, the more strength they get in their wingspan. Until one day she drop them, they start to fly. And that's the way it is with you and the narcissist. He's putting prickly things in the way. And he thinks that he's being smart. But you are actually jumping because you can't find a place to rest. You can't find a place to settle. So you are strengthening your wingspan. And one day you are dropped into motion. And when you are dropped into motion, you are able to take the air and you look at other eagles flying and it increases you to fly. And so the narcissists know when you have spread your wings and you get away from the net. There are eagles who get away from the nest and the mothers know that that eagle is not coming back. She said, don't be shy. This is a safe place. She said, Helen, she said, your destiny helper is here and fully equipped. Amen. She said, yeah, fluttering your wings. She said, I like that. Absolutely. And that's what you're doing. But you have to do it knowing that it's an uncomfortable place. When you flutter your wings, it's not a comfortable place. It's a painful place, actually, because every time you come down, you're coming out on these spikes. And these spikes are sticking you in the private places where you have to stay above the spikes. And then there are some, and they put spikes in places, but in some areas, they leave it where the eaglets can go there and rest. And then the mom motivate them back over into the prickly places. So they never get to rest long. And some of you are going through things and you don't get to rest long. You don't went through hell, but you're going through the prickly places. You don't went through trauma bonding, but you're going through the prickly places. You have been lied on and cheated on, and you're going through the prickly places. You tried to save money, and there they go. They come in to the prickly places, fighting you, and you are saying, God, I refuse to fight a battle that I know I've already won. See, when you have been discarded, Miss Chat, when you have been released and God has released you, what you are saying now is, I am discarding those prickly places. I am discarding the places that I sat on, and they underneath them, they was causing me pain. Underneath them, they was causing me trouble. Underneath them, they was causing me situation. I didn't know whether I was going or coming. You know, I know I'm a mom, but they made so much hell for me until I had to go to another place, even just to be a mom to my kids, to make sure that this narcissist did not intervene in the course of trying to strip the children from me. So you're jumping, and those prickly places are hitting you. But what they underestimated is they didn't see your wingspan each time you jump. And each time you jump, those wingspans were coming out. And you jump until one day when you drop, those wingspans come out. And then the narcissist asks, when did that happen? When did they get those wings? When did they occur? Because now you're away from the nest. You're away from the narcissist. You no longer yield to the narcissist. You're saying, I don't need you for that. I don't need you for this. I am doing this on my own. And your wingspan start to expand with other eagles. And you got the real fur on your head. And they know that you are new. But the other eagles come to undergird you. They come to strengthen you. And you become a powerful eagle in a new place, in a powerful place, in a sensitive place. And what you do is you become sensitive, where the transcription of the narcissist, it doesn't work. You are rewriting your mind. You are rewriting your brain. You are re-strengthening yourself. You're no longer trauma bonded. You are bonded to who you are. You are bonded to your legacy. You are bonded to who you are. And you are bonded to your faith. And you are bonded to what God has for you. And the narcissists don't know what to do with that, because they no longer can touch you, because you have learned to fly. And when you fly, and when you learn to fly, you are learning to soar. And when you learn to soar, your lift causes the narcissist to be afraid. But he's not going to tell you he's afraid. She said, I still don't know if I'm coming or going. She said, they are gone, but the CPTSD is real. It is. She said, she said, you'll be having a great few weeks, then just crash out of nowhere. She said, and this will confuse you because you thought that you were okay. No, you are okay. That means that record start coming up. Now you got to deal what's in that record. It doesn't mean the victories that you already got, you really don't have. You really do have those victories. And they're coming up to let you know that healing is there. So don't think you fail when those ruminations and those recall zones and those memory zones start to activate. And you're thinking, it can be what it is. Yes, it is. It is what it is. You got a recall module because you've been with him for 5 years, 15 years, 20 years. So, and when you got that recall for 20 years, you are thinking that everything is okay. And it's not okay. And you're thinking that this is crazy. And you're thinking, I thought I was over the narcissist. And you were over the narcissist. You are over the narcissist. And what you are saying is, I have a different challenge. I challenge myself to go beyond where I've been. I challenge myself to go greater. So when I am feeling, see, your memory is where everything is housed. And you got to remember, just because you remember it, it doesn't mean that it's true. Come on here. It doesn't mean that it's true. When you are having memory facet, that doesn't mean that those memories are laying down to the protocol of the narcissist, where the narcissist gain advantage of you. And when he gains advantage of you and he starts to reel that cord in, that doesn't mean that you are weakened. That means you are dealing with all of the downloads that the narcissist put in you. You are dealing with all of the uploads that the narcissist put in you. And you are changing your mind and you are refusing to be where you was. She said, keep teaching, mama. She said, sounds good. Just listening to you. She said, and ready and reading my word. Exactly. Exactly. Especially of those of you who may be coming out of families, a narcissistic mom, a narcissistic sibling. It is very, very difficult because there is a relationship that you are having with these people and they are already backward. They are entering and integrating backwardness into your life, and you are trying to make sure that you do the right things. Why? Because they're mom, because they're sibling, and it doesn't mean that you have to fall for that. Just Jay Desmond said, good morning, Dr. Sadler. She said, glad to have woken up to participate in New York. She said, wish your domestic violence laws in Washington were here. Your wisdom, she said, open me up to possibly to the doors of healing. Yes, see, when you deal with certain states, domestic violence, they do not drop domestic violence case. You can't come into a case and tell the courts you want to drop that case. The courts do not drop domestic violence case. There was a police officer who killed his wife. He got off from work, he fought with his wife, he killed her. And when the domestic violence law that was by our Supreme Court system, they made it a requirement that when you get into the domestic violence situation, you have to carry it out to the full extent of the law. And a lot of times the narcissists, when they undergird things, they come into a grave measure, and then sometimes they get into a loophole effect. But as a whole, Washington don't play with domestic violence situation. And many of you got to do reports. Don't be afraid what the narcissist is going to do. The narcissist tell you, if you call, I'm going to beat you worse. I'm going to leave if you call. You got to let me do this. Well, if you don't have a file, if you don't have a background, what is the courts going to use? They can't use your prayers. They need hard evidence. She said, being married in the middle to a lower malignant. Oh, that's dangerous. Narcissist. She said for 17 years. She said now divorced 20 years. She said I just started my journey to purge. And she said had memories because I am a brand new. She said because I am a brand new and healthy relationship for 2 years. Yes, she said, this is good. I woke up to you and I just listened to Dr. Brian before going to sleep. See, and that's why you have to bring in the warfare. The enemy wants to talk to you in your sleep. He don't want you to sleep well. He don't want you to do well. You have to make up in your mind who you are. You have to make up in your mind that I'm going after God. You have to make up in your mind, devil, you're not going to take my mind. And you have to fight, but you got to put something in your mind because you got to remember the narcissist put something in your mind. He put his words in your mind. He put his ideas in your mind. He put his way of doing things in your mind. He traveled through the corridors of your mind. He made you believe that he loved you and what he was doing was best for you. And that's what we call trauma bonding. And you became trauma bonded with the enemy. Yeah, you became trauma bonded with the enemy. And when you became trauma bonded with the enemy, what the enemy did is came in and held hostage your will, held hostage your desire, held hostage your desires. And so what you are doing is that I'm taking all of it back. It's not easy to take back what you've given up for so long. And many of you have given this up for so long. And I want you to know you can take it back. The devil, trauma can be seen on an MRI where your brain has scar tissue. Your brain has trauma mass. Your brain can indicate that you've been a traumatized situation. And sometimes because in the relationship you think that it doesn't matter, but the truth of it is it does matter. Your brain shows where you've been traumatized, and sometimes that can carry over in other relationships. It can set you off when they do things, and that set off mechanism is because of something that happened before, not something that is happening now. You are still triggering, and so you are walking through your destination, and you are saying, God, I refuse. I refuse to continue like this. I am going to strengthen myself. How you strengthen yourself? You need to get up and get a group. Get a group of people who believe like you believe. Get a group of people who just as determined as you are to go forward. When you decide to go forward, nothing that narcissist can do can stop you. Absolutely nothing. And look at Jake Desmond. She said, the bump in the road is a court matter dealing with the legal rights to my divorce decree. Now my attorney cannot locate my ex. He is hiding, and I am praying that God will assist me. And she said, need a strong advocate. He got the information. The only way your narcissist can stay hidden away, he got his social security number. When you apply for certain things, you have to use your social security number. They can find him. They can find him. They will find him. He will slip up because you need those items in order to continue legally with a job, to legally to take care of yourself. Because when you get a job, they want to know your social security, and then they want to make sure because they're going to take taxes out on you. So he may be hiding for a little bit. So what he does is take money from under the table. He don't take money across the table. He take money from under the table. And guess what? Money under the table sometimes is lesser money, because they know that you are desperate to receive it. So at some point, he has to come out. At some point, he has to show up because his life is hindered. The life status is hindered. He has to come forward. And the courts will make sure that he do, which is making it very, very hard for him. She said, need a strong advocate. You know, the greatest advocate you can have is Jesus Christ, who intervened on your behalf, and he will lead you to the right lawyer. He will lead you to the right situation. He will lead you to the right documents. This Jesus is a lawyer. He is your intermediator. He mediates on your behalf. He never leaves you out there to fight by yourself. It seems like you're fighting by yourself. No, no, no. You're not fighting by yourself. God is very aggressive when it comes to you. God is very intentional when it comes to you. God is very methodical when it comes to you. You talking about a strategy to help you? Oh, God's strategy to help you is second to none. Come on, somebody. God will always help you. Thank you so much, um, um, Princess, for giving those $3. Thank you so much. I really appreciate that. And so God is very intentional on helping you. And you untie your mind with a decision. You untie your mind with an upgrade thought where you are thinking, I am no longer going to allow him to do or allow her to do what she's doing. And you can tie the hands of the narcissist, because look at it. The narcissist is on the run, not you. The narcissist is on the move, not you. And he's in the shadow of hiding. And what the narcissist will do is try to go around the back door to still try to hoover you to let you in, because he wants you to drop that case. Don't drop that case. Don't allow the narcissist to come talk to you. Don't allow the narcissist to make you feel like he really loves you and that he really cares for you. No, he don't. The narcissist is looking out for himself, and this is why he wants you in the shadow. That when he goes in the shadow, you are right there hiding with him, because for many years that was what he was used to. He was used to you being in the shadow. He was not used to you being in the forefront. And so what God is telling you is, we're not doing backdoor living anymore. We're doing front door living. I'm going to put you in the nest that's going to cause you to get in a prickly place, that's going to cause you to expand your wings, that's going to cause you to move up and down in the nest, so I can strengthen you, so I can keep you, so I can provide for you, so I can allow you to see your mind, the brilliance of your mind. And see, the narcissist came to you because of that brilliance. When they love bombed you and then they trauma bonded you, they devaluated you into that, but they love bombed you into discover and the idolization. They made you feel like there was nothing better than them, and they put you on the top. But then after they put you on the top, they immediately came down with triangulation. They immediately came down with devaluation, because the narcissist never wanted you to feel that you were more powerful than them. She said, "I had contact with my narcissist mother after after she tried to convince me to stay with my abusive husband. Both are gone." She said, "Healing came from standing up to both of them." She said, "And they tried to work as a team." Oh my God. And she said, "And they tried to ensnare me." See, when it's family, you still got to circumvent that. She said, "Amen. I am grateful for your teaching, Apostle, and bless you always. You are so welcome, baby." And I'll tell you something. When your parents, usually when you have problems as an adult with your parents, you had problems as a child with your parents. You were the scapegoat. The scapegoat caused pain to their parents, because the scapegoat is very vocal. They are very tyrannical about what they say. They will say what nobody else said. And so the narcissistic parent can't stand their scapegoat. She said, "Yes, fighting back against the devil, meaning to defend yourself." She said, "And give up." She said, I was the best thing that ever happened to him." She said, but he abused me, and I would never go back on 2 years free. See, I don't blame you. See, I don't blame you, because what is happening is you're finding out who you are. You're finding out the way you are. You're finding out that life is bigger than what you've lived. And when you find out how big life is, you drop from the nest, and your wingspan has started to span. And that little fur on your head is going to turn to feathers. And your talent will be strong to pick up real strong prey. And you learn that by using your talent. And many of you are getting ready to use your talent. Yeah, Israel says the enemy uses the narcissist until the point of return. And when they can't deliver the serve, deliver the serves, them the very thing they serve others, they are oblivious. Absolutely. She said, yes, it's like I had to fight my dad, and now my husband, soon to be husband. Okay. She said, ex-husband. All right. She said, although he did a lot of things to me, but I'm growing stronger. Yeah, that's you in that nest. That's you jumping in that nest. That's you jumping until you can be put out of the nest. That's you expanding your wingspan. That's you keep increasing the wingspan until you are a beautiful eagle. And you no longer need the nest that you used to be in. You no longer need your mom and your dad because they now are too small for you. When the eagle leaves to start her family, the eagle never goes back to the mother nest. They never go back. They start their own family. They find a mate, and the mate of eagles, they're for life. And the mate that the eagle has is for life. They grow that family until that family start getting the pricklies, and that family drop. And when that family drop, that eagle know that it's time for them to soar. And the eagle never fight the soaring eagle that moves out on their own. The eagle always give way to the growth of an eagle. God is allowing situations to give way to you. God is allowing situations to comfort you where you are growing. And what you need, you don't need now. What you had, you don't need it now. What you was delivered, you don't need it now. And that's why the triangulation, it don't even bother you now. Why? Because you got a different mindset. You have to raise your mind above the struggle. When you raise your mind above the struggle, you raise your mind above the incident. You raise your mind above the circumstance. When you raise your mind above the circumstance, that's what the narcissist can't keep up with you. The narcissist cannot keep up with who you are. Never. Never. And what happens is you are changing. You are becoming more than what you have become. You are the eagle that is on the prickly nest. You are the eagle that is giving way to new changes. You are the eagle that's saying, I will not go back to a nest that is too small for me. You can't go back to that nest. Thank you so much, Sonia. Thank you for the $4.99. God bless you. I appreciate this. She said, I know God is on my side and everything will be okay. Yeah, why? Because I'm changing my mind. I'm actually helping myself out. I will not yield to debasement. I will not act as if God doesn't care. But I'm getting ready to rise up in authority and in positioning. And look what she said. She said, only 15 minutes to go. So come on, we got 15 minutes. What can we do in these 15 minutes? What can we say in these 15 minutes? You are helping somebody else. Those of you that are on Clubhouse, if you want to say something, please feel free to raise your hands. Because I'm telling you, what you know is in the past. What you are knowing is for your future. The way you're growing is for your future. You may have been in that relationship for 25 years, and it doesn't seem right. When you get into a new relationship, and if you demagnetize, many of you don't demagnetize. You got to make sure that that narc does not bring over to your relationship what he had in the old relationship. She said, I was so hilarious. She said he was telling me he had been to himself since I left him. But when I was next to him, she said, I felt good, not caring about him at all. Yeah. She said, yes. And the narcissist cannot believe that you are still alive. Absolutely. She said, yes, they are mad. She said, and how dare you? Absolutely, because you're not supposed to make it without them. She said, I know some of us are in a different stage of recovery, and it's recent. She said, and it's really wrong time to be focused on the narcissist. She said, find purpose. Well, sometimes you're focused on the narcissist because you're focused on the answer. And the answer is coming out of where you've been. And God is giving you truth to where you're going. She said, I was really nice to walk up to your live, and I really needed it today. Thank you. You are so welcome. She said, and he is hiding in the shadows, and I enjoying my pain of wishing he would sign the agreement for 21 years, and still he hasn't let go and feel he's not done with me. She said, don't know what's next. She said, John, join Helen at Clubhouse. Absolutely. She said, how do you demagnetize? She said, I am in therapy. She said, but I worry about the negativity left upon my children. You got to start a recourse. When you hear the therapists go to the root of the problem. They take you back to the root and they bring answers up from the root. They study why you may have been a victim and a lot of triggers, and they study why you are having those triggers. And those triggers that are there in your stead, they start handling the triggers. What made those triggers effective? And a lot of times when they handle those triggers, they are handling stuff in your childhood. They are handling the first narcissistic relationship. And so you think that is you, and it's what was in you that drew them, and they saw that. She said, thank you for helping us. She said, I've been through this so many times with him. She said, and people need help. And she said, this is spiritual. Only with God was I able to get through this, but I cannot do it. I can't do this with him again. Yet, you know what? You don't have to. You don't ever have to do this again. You don't ever have to want to do this again. You have to separate the event from your emotions. You are emotionally bonded into a situation till you break the bond. Once you fall out of disagreement with the bond, then you fall out in agreement with your new life. You fall into agreement with your new change. And if you notice, the moment you start falling into agreement with your new change, new people start coming into your life. New therapists, new group, new situations start coming into your life. And you find new faith, new order, new strength start coming to you when you break out of it. But you got to fall in disagreement to where you've been. She said, I can't understand why I went back before. She said, nothing changed, and it won't. She said, and the love bombing. She said, my stepmom didn't know my dad was a narc. Still yesterday, after 22 years of marriage, my testimony is helping her. Praise God. She said, wish I had what belongs to me and worked into to earn that right. She said, the hoovering is insane. It's like they want to watch you die. Yeah, but you don't have to. She said, you are right. My father is a narcissist, and now I know, now I drew that men to me. Because you're going from a parental base. You're going from a root base. Anytime you deal from a parental base, you're dealing from a root base. You're dealing from root sanctions. And when you're dealing from a root sanction, you're dealing from the original base. And I'm telling you, you do not have to stay trauma bonded. You can bond differently. You know, I wanted to come on live because many of you are saying, that I can't take it anymore. Or many of you saying, I left. I've changed. I don't want it anymore. But I'm ruminating. And he won't stop. He won't let it go. It's not up to him to let it go. It's up to you to change. When you want to change, things change. God is greater than any oppression. God is greater than anything you've been through. Your past is under your scrutiny. Your past is under your authority. And you never have to go back to what didn't work. Never, ever go back to what didn't work. Uh, Leslie said, Lily said, good morning for all that you do, 2.5 years of mental torment. She said, I know something was wrong from day one. She said, and I would cut it off um, continually, but would somehow end up in the contact again. See, that's trauma bonding. That's trauma bonding. Trauma bonding guaranteed you come back because they need the fuel and they want to make sure they have the fuel at your expense. So trauma bonding is fuel at your expense. They always want fuel at your expense. They don't want you to be clear. And you're thinking that they moved on, they're triangulate, and you think they are not involved or they don't even care about anything. They do. They care about that fuel. And they're trying to isolate you so they can get that fuel for them, especially when the fuel is good. So let's answer one more question before we get off. Let's answer one more question before we get off. Yes, Miss MXW said amen to that. I pray that you all have enjoyed being on here. I had an emergency situation that took me out of the loop for a few days, but I'm back in. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you for all of those who like and share the page and those of you who are subscribing to my YouTube channel. Join me again. I will be back and I'm going to do more videos concerning this matter because many of you don't know how to let go family structure that is filled with narcissism. She said the narc partners made their kids into people pleasers. She said, and I have been telling my sisters and those, she said, and those that open into the relationship, every time I get past him, he shows up. She said, because that's what you call soul tie. He has a soul tie with you, and he can pick up on your soul, and you can pick up on him. And you have to break that trauma bonding. You have to break that soul tie. You break that soul tie by transcription. You have to transcribe new information where the old information does not work. It no longer works. You're no longer bonded to the old regime. Those of you that are on, thank you so much for joining me on today. And for those of you that are on Clubhouse, I really appreciate this. I'm going to come off now. She said, Sonia said, wow, thank you. You are so welcome. And you will be seeing me again on tomorrow. Thank you so much. I love you so much. And I know you can do it. Some of you are jumping around on a prickly nest because you're getting ready to spread your wings. When you are dropped, you're getting ready to fly. Don't be afraid to fly. You can do this. In Jesus' name, you can do this. She said, thank everyone for being there. That is my moderator. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. She said, thank you. We really appreciate you. I love you to life. And guess what? I'm going to see you on tomorrow. I want you to listen up for me when I come back together and come back on a Clubhouse. And we build a greater forum with more powerful dialogue for each other. Thank you so much. Oh, thank you, Elizabeth. I love you. So make sure you go back and listen to the other videos. Make sure you keep listening to those videos. Those videos are freedom. They are deliverance. She said, happy Easter and God bless you. Happy Easter to you, baby. I will see you on the next video. God bless you. Thank you, Clubhouse. I will see you on the next Clubhouse. Thank all of you for joining me. I love you to life. Good evening. All right. Those of you that are on tonight, thank you so much. I love you too, Elizabeth, very much. And I want you to know that. And I want you to know that I honestly care for you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight because you could have been somewhere else, but you was here with me. So I'm saying good evening. Don't forget to subscribe. to my YouTube channel. Those of you who don't have Clubhouse, leave me your number and your email, and I will join you with the invitations I have. And then I will find others who have invites that you can solicit to get on Clubhouse. I love you to life, and I'll see you on the next video. Thank you, Danielle. You are priceless. I love you all. Good night.